Hey everyone, welcome to another Age of Mythology Titans campaign video, and this is the Ancient Relics, and this is one of my favorite levels. Kind of interesting and very frustrating sometimes, but I think I came up with this took me, I don't know how, probably at least 10 or 15 tries to beat the first time, and I finally came up with a good technique here. So you kind of start off with not a whole lot at all. You have to defend this temple. And so you start on a little plateau there, and across the waterway up there is another settlement and a whole bunch of resources. So I send one villager over there to sort of wall off the area, and you can see some enemy guys got sneaky and came in there under my nose, but pretty much walling off the starting area other than that top part by the palace, make a little bit of a funnel area to defend. And of course I sent that one villager over there, have him mining gold, and as I'm making villagers, I'm sending them over on that transport ship, because eventually the enemy sends some warships, and so here's the first attack, and I made all my archers into heroes so that they can counter the sphinxes, and then my guys, the other guys, mop up the rest, but so they were going after that villager there, so they kind of bypassed all my guys. But anyway, like I was saying, as I'm making villagers, I'm sending them over to gather resources in relative safety on the other side, and just leaving one or two of them on in the starting area to build buildings, and a couple of resources there, mainly just trees. But you can see there's a little attack coming after that wall over there. That's why I doubled them up. And as soon as you attack them, they start running around, so you have pretty ample time to snipe them off, but just keeping a couple infantry guys there as a meat shield, and then using my archers to clean up the myth units. So eventually you'll see I'll get a whole bunch of towers up over there by the town center to help defend. And they really I always laugh when they call in the bronze power there, because that's a Greek god power, and all the enemies are Egyptians. But I think I was about to say that they really have to do a big lap there to try to run into your area, so the towers can have a long time to fire on them and clean them up. And eventually it kind of ends up on autopilot. The only thing you really have to watch out for is siege towers. And so eventually I think my transport ship got taken out there, so that's all for the sending the villagers over to the other side. And they sent in a whole bunch of axemen there, so I just garrisoned my Myrmeos into the palace and let the towers handle them for a little while, but they kind of cleaned me up there. But anyway, once you get a town center up over there, you can kind of build up the economy. There's plenty of animals to hunt over there, and a whole bunch of gold mines. I think there are like 4 or 5 gold mines, so gold is usually not an issue. I think I put up a market over there too, to get some trade going, but plenty of resources, like I said. So it's really important to get that base going over there. And maybe you'd consider abandoning. Actually, no, never mind. You can't abandon your starting area because that temple is there. So you have to keep that standing. So my usual play style here, just kind of building up slowly, trying to get my economy set up, get these defenses up, so then I can focus on picking up the relics, get some farms going. That's really the only thing I do economically over in this area, is put up a few farms in the back there. Pretty much just plop down a whole bunch of military buildings. And this level took, I want to say, a little under an hour. I guess you can watch the game time and see, but I sped this up on 300%. So as you can see, once you get a whole bunch of towers up, the attacks really melt against them, and just focus firing those heroes to clean up the myth units. And occasionally, as you can see, they attack the wall there, but if you just sent your archers over to fire a few shots, then they scramble towards you. So it's usually just try to repair them as needed, or just put up extra layers to deter them. And I think I get some cavalry going here just to scare away those slingers. Once you get a little momentum going on this map, it usually goes pretty well. And I usually go for the relics in sort of in order of difficulty. Actually, that's not necessarily true. The first one I go for is the easiest, and after that, I guess it's a matter of opinion. But yeah, once you kind of get going, you because with each relic you get a god power, so it sort of bolsters your next attack. And like I said, those siege towers are the only thing you really have to worry about. Once you get a whole bunch of towers up, they shred the guys, so you don't really have to worry about them. And just putting up some more backup walls. And I think I'm gonna go after the first relic in a little bit. Getting some heroes going here. And that Anubite hopped that wall over there, so that could have been detrimental to my villagers. But yeah, camels, elephants, towers are an excellent defense against elephants, especially when they have to run a long way. You can really get a lot of damage on them before they even reach your guys. And like I said, all you have to really worry about is the siege towers. Taking advantage of all those resources over there. And that gold mine by the water becomes unmineable after a while because of the enemy warships. So you have to move inland a little bit. But as you can see, there's plenty of gold over there. And I think get a market going over there. But with that area walled off, they pretty much ignore you over there. And it looks like I started to send my heroes over to get the first relic, but there's an attack coming in, so I retreated them. But I think we're gonna get them going over there in a little bit. Yep, they're on their way. I think I sent a villager over there too, but a couple Avengers, just a couple guys over there defending it. Once you get the gate down, you can pretty much just grab it. Actually, a few animals of set spawn over there after you get close by, or I think after you pick up the relic, something like that. Just get a little wall going over there, and yeah, here they come. Quick work with the heroes, and there are even more gold mines over there, so that's a good place to mine as well if you for some reason run out over on the other side. And there are a couple access points over here, so I just wall them off. And I forget which god power you get from this relic. I think it might be Earthquake, but we'll see when it arrives at the temple. Maybe I went to go to the bathroom right there, but my guy got distracted. Okay, it was a tornado actually. So I'm getting a little bit of trade going. Not really necessary, but you really go through a lot of guys in this level, and my army gets a little aggressive there going after that tower, but so you have to kind of wrangle them in. But so I'm gonna put up a whole bunch of barracks over here because I can always time shift them around, and it's also gonna give me a starting point for my assault on the base to the left down there, the orange guys. And like I said earlier, once you get some momentum going, you get an additional town center, more population. It really it kind of grows legs. You can your attacks become more and more powerful. So I'm getting some destroyers going out there from my palace. And something I like to do is I deleted some villagers. Yeah, I think I was pretty good on wood there, but something I like to do is fill up my population and then make all the guys heroes, because that increases their population count, but it just goes above the cap. So starting my attack over there, doing a little bit of a two-pronged attack, and gonna start cranking out guys. And I think I make cavalry there just because they're faster and they can get over to the battle and start bringing a tower over here just as a little bit of a defense point. And yeah, like I said, making cavalry just so they can get to the fight a little bit more quickly. Trying to just clear an area, not really worrying about the guys, just trying to get the buildings and prevent them from building another town center there. But fighting by the tower, or towers, I guess. Now it's two of them. And keeping a couple heroes around just to deal with their myth units. Getting bold, putting a palace up there, but it's important not to let the pressure off. And so I call in the tornado there. I don't think it takes down too many buildings, but gets good damage on a few of them. A little bit of a distraction. Keeping my building queues full. And now, of course, I can start making destroyers on the front line there to help clean out those buildings, and I do just that. It's funny watching the palace fire on that Migdal stronghold. So now I sort of keep a kind of neglect those guys up there a little bit. They just trying to keep a solid wall of them while I get that town center up, just to keep the enemy guys at bay, and keeping my unit count up. So once I get the town center, my population will expand, and it'll be a little bit easier. Just keeping those destroyers on the buildings. I sort of sweep them around. And they put up a pretty good fight over here. Down in the lower left there, they kind of stonewall my guys, but that was the whole idea. I just wanted to distract them while I sort of swept around and took out all the buildings. And you can see the trade carts still coming through there, so I put up a... and I neglected back home a little bit, and they kind of broke in, but no big deal. And like I said, I put the palace up there to get those trade caravans that keep coming through. I put that tower there to kind of sort out the warships. So now, I think I forgot about the relic, actually. So I'm sending a few guys back home there just because they have a little bit of attack coming through. Yeah, that could have been somewhat deadly. So I just send those guys out as a little bit of a sacrifice to distract, and I'm gearing up for another attack over here. And yep, and now I realized I forgot the relic. These guys will send phoenixes after you, so you have to kind of have some archers around, or lure them over some towers, something like that. Yeah, so there's one phoenix, so I'm shifting a tower up there to try to work on that phoenix. But these guys are the hardest to attack. They have the most expansive base. I think they have 2 town centers or something like that. But yeah, get that earthquake going to soften them up, and they have a whole bunch of military buildings out front on the sort of to the left of their base. But yeah, this is probably the hardest one to attack. So I'm just trying to keep the pressure on, shift a couple buildings over. And now you can see that Phoenix is going after my villager, so he's booking it out of there while I get a couple archers in the area. Trying to get some, just keep my unit count up while I sort that out. Getting that palace going so I can get some destroyers in there. Because without being in the Imperial Age to get fire siphons, the Atlanteans are a little bit thin in the siege department. And I don't really like behemoths that much because they're really slow. And they take up a lot of population. So making pretty good work over here. Of course, red comes into attack, but luckily I have that palace to put my villager in. So I'm kind of doing a manual takedown here. I only have a couple destroyers coming in, but just using my cavalry. And there's another phoenix there, so try to lure him over to the towers and palace. And it looks like their front side defenses have been breached, so now I can focus on the town over here. There's a Migdol and I think 2 citadels, or at least 1 citadel and 1 regular town center, and a whole bunch of other buildings around the relic. And they're trying to rebuild, of course. Always gotta watch out for that. And red, again, being kind of annoying, but gotta deal with them. I don't know where they're going, but yeah, just sending in destroyers to try to clean up these buildings efficiently, and then we can gear up for red. So what I get there? Okay, ancestors probably. Actually, I think the red one is bronze power. So if you like bronze, maybe go after that one first. But I think earthquake and tornado are the best ones to get first, and then ancestors is kind of useful too for helping out an attack. So now I'm just going to send these guys into red at this point. I can outnumber them quite a bit, so just going to push the attack. So I have a few guys coming in from my base, but they get taken out kind of quickly, and that's sort of just a distraction to get my guys in here. And I didn't even really fight the fight too much here. I just grabbed the relic with a Contarius and sent him back to the temple to finish up the game. So like I said, about a 50-minute game. But I might have made this look easy, but this can be a really frustrating level if you you know, don't do the sort of the distraction walls like I did at the beginning, or you know, or get the resources on the other side of the river there. You really have to secure that early to help you out. And so anyway, I hope you like this strategy. That's all for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.